Hi, my name is Elizabeth Veal, and this is my critical assignment that I'm going to go over. So the first thing I'm going to go over is the health and movement assessment. So due to COVID, mine was a little bit different, so I did the PAR-Q on myself, and the only concern was that my body mass was over 30, so that's something that I always try to work on to get my body mass index smaller than that, but that just was one of the concerns that was on my PAR-Q. And then for the FMS, I had videos that were sent to me, and I went over those, and then I used that person as my client for everything else, like my program design and all that. So the person whose videos I watched is my client technically. So on her FMS, she scored a 16, and all of her stuff was 2s and 3s, and she was pretty high up there. So her faults were on the deep squat. Her depth wasn't there, so she tried, and then on the second one she put a 2x6 board underneath her feet, and that helped her with her depth. And on the hurdle step, she scored a 2 as well. And the only thing was because, like, when she went on her left side, she had a hard time with her alignment. She was missing on her hips, knees, and ankles were not aligned, but her right side was. So I scored her a 2 because she could do it on her right side, but she couldn't do it on her left side. And then the ASLR, same thing. She scored a 2, and she just was a little bit off in the alignment between her mid-thigh and the ASIS, so she just needed to work on that a little bit. So her faults influenced my program design because by just really working on lots of squatting to help her with that depth. I think just the more and more you work on squats, the more and more you'll get better at it. And then I did lots of rotational and trunk exercises to help strengthen for balance and support. So on the periodization, my client's overall goal was fat loss. So I made her goal to lose 5 pounds in 8 weeks. And in exercise selection, with the needs of my client from the FMS, I did, again, lots of squats, and I did squats 2 days a week, every single week, just with high rep and a moderate percent maximum to help her with fat loss. And then in regards to the hurdle step, I did lots of step ups and step downs and lunges. And then to help with her rotary stability, I did lots of rotational and core exercises. So overall, there was multiple sets with higher reps to promote fat loss. In exercise order, I always did the power exercises first, and then I alternated between upper and lower body exercises, and then alternated between push and pull exercises. Did lots of supersets. So in terms of her periodization, I did a squat or deadlift first, and then I did press or row next. And then the other exercises were gait pattern and rotational and counter rotational exercises. And I always ended with some sort of cardio at the end to help her promote fat loss. So in regards to the frequency and intensity and duration, she was at an intermediate workout level already. So I could do resistance with her 3 to 4 days a week. And then the first week, I added 1 day of extra aerobic activity. And then the second 4 weeks, I did 2 extra days of aerobic activity. And for intensity, because she wanted fat loss, I did about 67% on the first 4 weeks. And then the second 4 weeks, I added about 3% to all of her exercises. And then for durations, I went with muscular endurance. So it was 3 sets of 12 reps on all of her exercises. And it was linear and traditional periodization because I used the same set and rep count every time, and I varied the training load. And then here are my exercise technique videos. So in terms of application and faith integration, this class can help me so much as in regards to becoming a swim coach. So just making the water workouts when we go into the gym, and then just varying our seasons when we're training, when we're not training, when we're competing, when we're not competing. And it just was really eye-opening for me to make sure that I work on all that. Also technique, a big thing in the gym. Just I've been a swimmer my whole life, but I haven't done workouts in the gym probably only the last 10 or 15 years. So it's been a big eye-opener to make sure that I work on all that with my swimmers. So I can work on the assessment process by just continuing to help assess my swimmers, to help with their technique and their training goals, and making sure that I'm helping with that. I think when I first started my master's program, I wasn't really helping the head coach with any of that. And so I think that now I can just be more involved with that. And the same thing goes with the planning part of it and the periodization part of it. You know, she normally writes the workouts and she normally makes the big plans. And now I'm more knowledgeable that I can help and figure out what the swimmers need. And then just technique, for me, it's huge in the weight room, just the little coaching cues that I can use. You know, they do squats every week, they do deadlifts every week, they do push press every week. So just using what I've learned with my coaching cues to make sure that they're properly doing the exercises so they don't get hurt and then can't swim, because we're using it as an aid. So it's just very helpful for me to be able to help with that. And just myself as well in the gym, when I go to the gym, now I'm thinking about the coaching cues in my head and am I doing them correctly to make sure that I'm not getting hurt either. So in regards to demonstrating Christ, I found 3 excerpts from the Bible. So the first one I found was, Jesus saith unto him, arise, take up thy bed and walk. So I just saw that, and just that people were trusting in Jesus, and they, you know, he was trustworthy, and they were able to just get up and start moving. And so just using that part of it, that just, you know, even when you're having a bad day or a good day, that you can just get up and start moving and it makes you feel better. And then from Mark 5, and he said unto her, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace and be whole of thy plague. And I think with that one, it's huge of having faith and making sure that you have faith in everything that you do, regardless of what it is, just in life in general, always have faith. And the last thing from is, I can do all things in him that strengthens me. So I think just big with the way he strengthens us and like lifts us up, and making sure that we use him to strengthen in everything that we do. And I think the biggest thing is that Jesus just always had his trust in us. So I think me, as going into the workforce after my master's program, is to really make sure that people have trust in me and have faith in me and have faith in themselves, and just really push through that to make sure that they go about their days having faith and having trust. So that is all I have for you. Here are my references, and thank you for listening.